Today I'm going to be reviewing this handy heater that was recently sent to me by the brand. Now this is designed to quite literally just plug into the outlet on your wall, and that's literally all you have to do. So it just plugs right in, as you can see. So let me go ahead and open this up, show you what it looks like, and then also give you the measurements. It is taped across here, so let me go ahead and cut that. So inside the box you're going to get your handy heater and also your instructions. Now you can rotate this if needed. You're just going to push right down on that, and then you can rotate this one way or the other. So if you want to have it upside down like so, you can, or if you want to have it this way, you can as well. You just rotate this. It does take a 3-prong plug, so you will need to make sure wherever you plug it in at, that is where it goes. Now before I plug it in and test out the heat function, I do want to go ahead and give you the measurements on this. So this is going to be relatively small, only 5 inches across. Height top to bottom is going to be right around 5 3/4, maybe 5.5 inches, depending on if you count this bump in the middle and where exactly you go. And then your thickness, so I'm just going to include to here, right? So your thickness on there is going to be around 2.5 inches or so, not including the part that goes into the plug. So now let me go ahead and plug it in. So when you first plug it in, it's not going to have any indication that it's plugged in. So you're just going to push the little power button right here on top. And then now you can adjust the heat up or down, right? So it looks like the hottest is going to be 90. I'm going to go down on this to see how low it goes. And still going. Okay, interesting. So it's going to go from 60 to 90. Now I assume that that's going to be the heat that it is putting out is going to be that temperature, or maybe it gets it to that temperature and then stops. That'll require reading the instructions, of course. You can see here it can go up to 60 or 90. Now it is warmer than 60 in this room, so I assume it's not going to shut off automatically, and it's just going to put out 60-degree air, and it is getting cooler as it's sitting here at that. So let me go ahead and read the instructions and double check. So you can see here exactly what this is going to look like, and it actually does automatically shut off. So once it realizes the temperature is above 60, then it's going to automatically shut off as it did. So this room is somewhere around 70, right? So I'm going to go ahead and push this up to say 72. So it's now 73. Okay, let's go to 75. So essentially it's going to push out heat until it senses that the temperature in the area that you're at is above that. So it's going to put out, wow, a lot of really strong heat, especially right here. Now it is going to have a pretty strong fan, so I can feel the heat. Like I'm talking like a foot, 2 foot away. I can easily feel that heat while I'm here. So definitely putting out a ton of heat. Even putting that my hand up against it is going to be really, really warm. So think like the old school like heaters or whatever, where you would like put your hand up close to it and be putting out a lot of heat. That's exactly what this is doing. So it's putting out a ton of heat until it gets up to that 75-degree threshold. Then it's going to shut off and wait for it to sense that it needs to turn back on. So you do have between 60 and 90 degrees on that. And boy, this thing is putting out a ton of heat here in this area. My guess is that the way it functions, just to make sure that the heat doesn't go off too quickly, is it probably makes sure to get the heat all of the way out before it automatically turns it to being off. But this handy heater, definitely putting out a good amount of heat. Now, I went ahead and unplugged it, and the last thing I wanted to do was actually test this, right? So I'm putting my hand on this, and it is extremely hot to the touch. So it is something you will want to keep in mind. If you have younger kids, make sure you plug it into a location where it's not going to be within their reach, as they could definitely burn themselves on this, even after leaving it turned off. For even, it was a couple of minutes that I left it turned off for, still putting out a lot of heat. This grate is still going to be extremely hot on this. So make sure when storing it that you let it cool down first. Also make sure that if you have children or anything like that, that they are not anywhere where they can touch this if they're younger. You can kind of see the fan it has back here. It's blowing, essentially blowing the air, pulling in from the back, blowing it across these heated coils, and that's what is producing the heat, which is why it also has these little feet, so that way it can get air in the back of this handy heater.